Sorry.
Yeah.
So Coach Kaitlyn is our Fit Me nutrition performance expert, which is really like the fun thing about being an expert in anything is usually because you have a passion about it. And that's kind of her deal with performance, whether it's like CrossFit competitions or like your first marathon or your first 5K, or even just like understanding how to fuel your body to do something athletic. That's her jam. So I know this is the beginning of CrossFit competition season. Even for like most of us who are recreational athletes, it's still fun to compete sometimes. So a lot of people are participating in local competitions right now, or preparing for the Open, which is just around the corner. So I thought it would be a great idea to have her kind of go over, how do you fuel for a one-day CrossFit competition, and like how does that carry over maybe to your regular training day or to like the Open. And anybody who's on here or plugs in later, Michelle is here. Which Michelle is that?
This is Michelle. Is this my Michelle?
She's
Michelle Hall.
I think it could be. She's hiding. She just got on and then ran away. But I mean, what we'll do is Kaitlyn will talk for a while first. And so if you have questions, we're going to save them. And I'll open the chat on the side. So you can post a question in there, like without interrupting her, or just say like, I have a question when we take a break or something. And then I can, we'll let her know. So I just pulled the chat up, and if you click on chat on your thing, you should be able to see it. And yeah, so Kaitlyn, take it away.
Okay. All right. So I know I personally have a couple clients who are competing this weekend, ones that are interested in the Open. And I think for today, I'm going to do like a rough outline, something that I have sent to one of my clients who is doing a one-day CrossFit competition workout this weekend. I sent her this outline, so I'll kind of review it with you guys. And it's certain people may have certain considerations that you could edit, work with your coach and edit, but for the most part, this is a great guideline. And who this is for, I want to specify. Okay, I'm not talking about high level regional or games athletes. Okay, that would require slightly different protocol. Who I'm talking about now are people who generally are like recreational competitive athletes who do local competitions, one-day competitions. They go to CrossFit class or even do like the competitor class, but they're not like necessarily making a run for the games. We're traveling to China or Dubai or something to compete. So I'm also, this guideline is also for people who have somewhat dialed in their nutrition. Okay, so if it's like your first day of CrossFit or first day of nutrition, you don't have a lot of history with either tracking or like really paying attention to what you're consuming. This is more for people who have some kind of background of and some kind of dietary protocol that they've been following on a daily basis, either with a coach or on their own. Okay, so that's who this is for. All right, so I'm going to start with about like a week out from the competition. So let's say it's Sunday or Monday, and then your competition is at the end of the week on Saturday. Now, leading up to that week, let's say you should be following your dietary protocol, okay? So if you are a performance athlete, you're not viciously dieting right now, you should be eating all of your carbs, all of your food every day going into this, okay? So the week of, you should be okay. Now, granted, if you're a higher level athlete, we would probably be feeding you, inching up your food, or if there's a multi-day competition, for several weeks. Same with endurance athletes. So like Ironman and stuff like that would be a little bit different. But if you're a recreational athlete, you should be just on good track. You've been training, hydrating, taking that post-workout shake with protein and carbs. You should be good to go. Okay, so the week of, we're not going to change anything. We're not going to do anything crazy. Make sure that post-workout shake, sometimes, you know, people forget to pack it or forget to drink it, get sidetracked. The week before leading up to that competition is not the time to be missing that. And I think I posted that in the group earlier this week. Okay, so make sure you don't miss that. The reason is we want to make sure that your glycogen stores, meaning your energy stores in your muscles, muscle glycogen stores and liver, are topped off. Okay, so every time that you work out intensely or do any kind of exercise like that, you are depleting them, and the level of depletion will be based on the duration of the workout, the intensity of the workout. Okay, but by making sure you replenish that after the workout and throughout the rest of your day will really be critical. Okay, this is also not the week to mess around on your water. So if you are not a big drinker or not very good about getting your water in, this is the week to get it in gear. It's also the week not to change anything if you are good. Okay, don't mess around with it. So that's kind of a week out, our main concerns. Okay, getting closer to your competition day on Saturday, let's say Thursday. Okay, this is when you really want to make sure sleep is a priority. It should be the whole week, but you know, if you're a recreational athlete, you've got a family, you've got a job, everything like that, life happens. Okay, but starting on Thursday, really, it's not the night to go out, you know, to a late dinner or socializing or anything like that. Really get quality sleep so you feel rested and good for your long day on Saturday. Okay, you want to keep focusing on hydration, and now we really want to start focusing on making sure the electrolytes are balanced. Okay, so if you make a lot of your food at home, don't shy away from salting your food. Some people put salt in their water. You don't have to do anything excessive, okay, but making sure that you know, signs of like electrolyte dysfunction would be if you're feeling especially fatigued, if you're urinating like a ton or not at all. Okay, it should be just nice and balanced. Again, don't overthink it, but don't do anything crazy or like go out for Chinese food every night of the week or something like that, or failure to salt your food. Okay, nothing crazy. On Thursday, I'd also like my clients or anybody to start focusing on switching their carb sources to more starchy foods, okay, more complex carbs, foods like potatoes, rice, pasta, bread. Okay, those are what is going to best replenish your muscle glycogen. Okay, make sure that's nice and topped off. Okay, Friday, the day before, this is like about lunchtime and onward, I really would like to see you guys cut back on fibrous foods. Okay, so food with a lot of fiber. I'd also avoid, depending on what time your competition starts, usually they start in the morning, I'd avoid like a red meat dinner. And that's simply because this stuff can sit in your gut. It's got a little bit slower digestion rate. So we just want to make sure that you're not backed up, you don't feel heavy, you don't have a lot sitting in your gut going into your workout. You want to be nice and light and feel like you can move and that you can breathe. Okay, so start swapping. And also the fibrous foods, you're not getting a lot of the carbohydrates that you need. Okay, so as you know, fiber is part of carbohydrate, so you're not fully you are digesting some, like technically, but for the most part, you really want to be focusing on those foods, like I said, pasta, rice, potatoes, bread, that day before, that Friday. Okay, this is also the day to prep everything for Saturday. Okay, make sure you have all your groceries bought, you've cooked your chicken, you've portioned out your meals, you've got your water, you've got your electrolyte drinks, everything like that. Okay, make sure you are ready. Failure to plan is planning to fail. Okay, and Friday, nothing new. Don't eat anything weird. Don't try a new supplement. Don't do anything outside your normal routine because you don't know how you're going to react to it, okay? So if this competition matters to you and you want to feel your best, be careful with that. Okay, so now it's competition day, all right? So let's say typically the competitions start early in the morning, all right? Normally I'd say definitely get a lot of sleep, but this is worth waking up early for and hitting a full balanced breakfast. And what I mean by that are proteins, carbs, and fats. So a great example for a breakfast on competition morning, at least like 3 hours, 2 maybe, but preferably 3 hours before the start of your first event would be like sweet potato hash, maybe some turkey bacon, and some eggs. Okay, so you've got all 3 macronutrients in there. Okay, I know Chrissy's the same way. I don't have my clients count macros that day. Okay, our priority is fueling and recovering, making sure you're ready to go for all your events and feeling good for the next one. Okay, I don't want you stressing about macros that day because we're going to be super high protein and carbs. Fats are going to be really low during the day. All right, so don't worry about that. Again, no new foods. Don't pack any weird supplements. All of a sudden people are like, oh, my friend drinks Pedialyte during competition, so I'm going to drink that now. If you don't know how that sits with you, especially a lot of those performance drinks, the types of sugars in them can be a little rough on the belly, can cause some bloating. Be really careful with that. If you haven't tried it, I don't recommend packing it. Okay, it's something you can try earlier in the week to see if it sits well, but don't try it the day of. So you're going to get that big breakfast, okay, depending on what time your event is. And also if you're hungry. If you're hungry again, then eat, okay? And it depends how close to your event that you are. So I would, like an hour before, that would probably be the cutoff for like real food. So if you're eating like a little bit of chicken and rice and don't eat a lot. The name of the game today is low volume food. Okay, so I don't want you guys eating like chicken breasts and a giant spinach salad or something for lunch. Okay, that's going to take up huge belly volume and you're going to feel like bleh. There's nothing inherently wrong with that meal, but it would just not be your best choice on game day. Okay, caffeine, if you normally drink caffeine coffee or your pre-workout or whatever that you've tried, again, nothing new, caffeine is shown to peak like about, on average, anywhere from like 30 to 60 minutes after consumption. So getting some on board before each event, like maybe 30 to 60 minutes prior to your event would be a good idea. There's a lot of positive research that's been done on caffeine and performance. So if that's part of your normal routine, then go ahead, don't shy away from that day. And then I know Christy and we talked about this the other day. So this is a great time to use your liquid nutrition supplements. So things like whey isolate, protein powder, okay, is really great. Your powdered carbs, there's a couple brands that I recommend, and I'm sure Christy does too, and we can post those later. But you can mix those up together in your shake and drink that post-event. Again, it's going to depend on the duration and intensity of the event. Some may require a little bit more recovery than others. Okay, so something, if you had like a 5K run and you went like max effort, that's going to be pretty intense. Or if you had a super crazy like squat clean event where you're doing like 1 million squat cleans or something like that, really taxing, anything that takes a big hit to the CNS, you may need to consume a little bit more carbohydrates. But for the most part, a lot of these events are really quick because they're generally running a lot of heats, you know, like in the 7-minute range. So if you just get some quick carbs on board after, that would be enough. Maybe even half of a protein shake if you don't want to fill your belly with like a whole shake. And then if you get a little break for lunch, I would eat some real food. So I'd probably, we talked about this the other day, I would alternate your like liquid supplemental nutrition, so things like protein shakes and you know, kind of more of either like the synthetic or factory made stuff with real food. And the reason for that is sometimes if you consume a lot of the like protein powders or the powdered carbohydrates, again, some people that can upset their belly. So try to space them out. So I would go, you know, your full meal in the morning, maybe after that first event, protein shake and carbs. After the second event, I'd eat something real, so a lean protein source. And then either some complex carbs, or if you're feeling pretty trash, need some quick energy, you can go simple carbs. And after the competition, Christy and I are on the same page with this, eat what you want. my always go-to meal after competition is lasagna and garlic bread. I love lasagna and garlic bread. I just go to town because you've been really low on fats all day. So you want to avoid those fats during the day. No, I don't know if I mentioned that. No excess fats really after that big breakfast you have. So that's kind of I know I blabbed a lot, but that's kind of like an example of the outline that I sent to my client. So if you guys have any further questions, or if Chrissy, there's something else that you want to touch on that maybe I missed, let me know.
I think that was really good. Bernadette, did you have any questions?
No, not really. Just basic. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, like, I know you had told me after a workout at CrossFit, because I'm not going to do competitions, it's important to have carbs and protein.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still doing the coconut water with the protein powder. Is that still good? Is that still, I mean, it tastes fine. It feels good after I drink it. So
not all coconut water has a lot of protein in it. So just kind of, or excuse me, a lot of carbs in it. So just kind of check and see. Like the ones that have pineapple or orange.
I get the pineapple one.
Yeah, to those, especially the ones that they come in a little bit bigger, if you have the entire thing and you mix that with protein, it ends up being 30 carbs, which is perfect for like a regular CrossFit workout.
Oh, so I only do 8 ounces. I should do more?
You could do more, yeah, because you could at least go 1-to-1 for sure after CrossFit. So if you have like 25 grams of protein, you can have 25 grams of carbs or 30 grams of carbs. And then, you know, for workouts that are a lot harder, and maybe Kaitlyn wants to add, like, especially ones like the open or something where you really like go deep into your, you know, you put out everything you had and it was longer, you might even go 2-to-1. Two carbs for 1 protein.
One protein, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I would say for the majority of people who are not high-level CrossFitters, that 1-to-1 should be enough given you're eating the rest of your food the rest of the day. And really the studies have shown that it's not necessarily, it's not like, oh, this metabolic window, you know, it's been shown that that glycogen restoration can happen up to 24 hours after a workout. So, you know, they've done studies where people have taken, you know, uptake of carbs like right after the workout and then like 8 hours after the workout. And there's not a lot of significant difference. But why we like to say right after is, you know, sometimes there can be this effect of like you just feel like a little bit brought back to life after having some of those sugars when you've really been trashed. And then I also like to preach it to my clients because a lot of my clients just struggle to get all their food in. So if that's something that you can get like right off the bat, just make it a habit to consume right after. You don't have to think about it because you do need to get that food in, whether it's 5 minutes after you drop to the floor or, you know, 40 minutes after your workout, not truly significant, but getting it in within like that 24-hour window is. So yeah, I would say at least, 1-to-1 probably would be sufficient until your training got more intense.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I liked all the stuff from the CrossFit competition. I think that all makes sense. I know a lot of people are going to watch this after the fact. And so like if you're mapping out your nutrition for your day on your CrossFit competition, I mean, like, you said it at the very beginning about like planning, but like don't leave it in the hands of like what you hope to find there. Like competition day is always a day that you want to come with like a little cooler packed with your stuff. It's better to have more than not enough. Save a buddy who like didn't pack themselves an orange, you know, or something, you know, but like don't rely on the event to provide you with anything good. Because best case scenario, it's going to be supplements, which are maybe going to be good and maybe going to be messing up your stomach. Worst case scenario, it's like tacos and like, you know, whatever they're selling, hamburgers. And that is the opposite of what you need.
Yeah, exactly. Chrissy, that's a great point, is yeah, it's, again, we want to stay away from any additional fat or added fat during the day while you're competing. Okay, so yeah, if they have those food trucks there, that is going to be trouble. You are not going to feel good having that sit in your gut. The one thing we didn't talk about though is electrolyte replacement. So if, and again, the need for this is going to vary based on, so I know right now in most parts of the country, it's not very hot. It's freezing, but so if you are sweating like a ton and really losing a lot of fluid, really losing a lot of salt, you 1000% need some electrolyte replacement. Okay, sodium obviously is the biggest one. Things like Gatorade and stuff have sodium, but I'd also recommend for CrossFit competition to make sure you grab an electrolyte drink that not only has sodium, but also has like potassium and magnesium. Magnesium would be huge, and potassium for cramping and muscle fatigue. So, I'm sorry, I locked my dog out and he is just going, he's barking. It's his birthday. So he's like, why are you locking me out on my birthday? But anyway, so, and then yeah, just sipping on that throughout the day can't hurt you. Okay. So again, look for things that have, and you have to look at the label. You can't just assume, like, Pedialyte is not as great for CrossFit as you think, because it doesn't have the magnesium and potassium. Okay, so make sure you read labels. And then yes, I'm so sorry, what was your name?
Who, me?
Yes,
Bernadette.
Bernadette. Love that name.
Yeah,
okay, so like Bernadette drinks the coconut water, but look at your labels. You need to look at what you're consuming, because you may think that something has carbs in it and it doesn't, or you may think that something doesn't have carbs in it and it does. So always just kind of double check, because I've made mistakes assuming things, and then I'm like, ooh, okay. Or the serving size is 1, the bottle has 2.
Yeah.
Well, look at your stuff. Look at your stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really good. Any other questions that you guys have?
I don't think so.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm not sure who it is though.
Oh, okay. It's Jenna.
Oh, hey.
Hey. My dogs keep looking at the phone like, we hear another dog.
Oh, they can hear him? I know. He's at work. I don't know why it is.
But anyway, I was going to say, so I had a competition last Saturday. Actually, I have one this Saturday. But last Saturday, Christy recommended doing that protein shake after my first Metcon, which took like pretty much like really, really gassed me.
Mm-hmm.
And it just to say, like, it helped so much. Like, it was exactly what I needed to and it was a quick turnaround for the next workout, and I felt really good after having that shake. I had never done that before in between workouts, but it was like the perfect combination of like protein, carbs, low fat. So I'll definitely do that again this weekend, but because I've been in competitions where I just like completely emptied the tank and didn't have the right combination of nutrition to refuel and recover in between workouts. But that was definitely good advice, was getting a protein shake in.
Oh, that's great feedback. Thank you, Jenna. I'm glad that worked out.
On my bed.
Use that in the future.
Yeah.
She has back-to-back. She did one last Saturday, and then she's doing one this Saturday.
Woohoo!
Yeah, fortunately, this one on Saturday is a team workout, so I get a little more rest time. But would you say FitAid is a good electrolyte source or not?
I'd have to look at the label on FitAid, but be careful with that one, because the FitAids are carbonated, and
right.
And it just depends how you tolerate that.
That's like the only like kind of like canned drink that I actually can tolerate. That's why I asked.
Yeah, look at
FitAid has magnesium and potassium in there. So it has let's see. It's got potassium, but only 1%, so not a lot. It's tricking us.
Okay.
Magnesium, 10%, so like 40 milligrams. And then it's got a mixture of like vitamins, and, you know, they market it as a recovery drink. So I think they're like heavily on the like vitamin side. On the positive, it does have some sugar in it. So like, but it's only 11 grams of carbs per can. So
Yeah.
still probably not the best choice, because you're going to end up having to drink a bunch of it to even get some recovery benefit out of that. And then, or like for
Right.
the day, and then ultimately it's carbonated, like Kaitlyn was saying. So you're going to feel bloated and fart.
Now I also have like electrolyte drops that I can add to a drink. Is that something you think would be effective?
Oh yeah, like those noon tablets. Yeah, the salt packages. Yeah, any of that stuff that's sold for like hiking or endurance athletes or anything like that. Is great. Yeah, totally great.
Cool. I had somebody ask today, like, if they should drink Gatorade, like just in general. And then I asked them if they have the flu or if they are competing today, and they said no. And I said, then no. And I don't even know that Gatorade or like Powerade is the right choice, but there's definitely a place for electrolyte supplements, and most people don't need it like on a regular day. Like just go to do 1 hour CrossFit class. Like you should get enough electrolytes out of like the salt in your food and like having water and like a really good daily nutrition. But like if you have the flu or if you're sick, then electrolyte replacement's really helpful. And then if you're doing a CrossFit competition that's multi-event or like multi-day, or if you're hiking all day, or you're doing a marathon, or you're doing a 5K, like there's definitely a place for.
Or if it's particularly hot.
Yeah, or really hot out, or you're outside working and like shoveling rocks all day, like then replace your electrolytes. But the marketing on a lot of these products makes you feel like it's something you should have like after every workout. And especially like some of the more like CrossFit popular ones too, makes it seem like, oh, I should have this every single day. And that's fine if you like it, but I mean, it's fine for like the Fit Aid and the other ones, but like Gatorade and Powerade and Pedialyte, that's straight sugar drink.
Yeah. Which, you know, back kind of to my comment about like the timing and stuff, it is really optimal to put those carbs right around your workout, because they're uptaken, you know, and shuttled back, because you're insulin sensitive, back to your muscles quickly. So, so things like Gatorade post workout, like, I mean, it's not going to hurt you. I mean, if you're going to drink it, that would probably be the best time. But I think there's more superior products.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions? I think we covered a lot.
No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Nope.
I wrote in the chat like a summary of each like major thing you listed, Kaitlyn. So like if you guys are watching this after the fact, I think you'll be able to see the chat, but we'll have like a little helpful document to go with this too, like a little cheat sheet. But ultimately, like if you're working with a coach, then talk to your coach about a game plan. And if you're not, then write it out yourself. Like you can plan and feel confident that like you have a game plan, and just know that like the more you compete, the more information you have about yourself, and you can tweak it. And maybe you're someone who wants to do that first workout fasted because you feel better with nothing in your stomach. Or maybe like you are somebody who really wants to have a meal like midday, or you're grouchy jerk, you know, like you kind of have to, this is very individual. These are just like good guidelines. And then after that, it's up to you to kind of customize.
Yep.
Cool.
Sweet. Well, we will do another one of these in probably 2 weeks on open performance, because that's kind of a different subject. Doing CrossFit open workouts and then potentially repeating them, and like, is there something specific nutrition wise we should do? So we'll do kind of a separate one on that. But thanks for plugging in, and thanks you guys to everybody who watches this later. I know we'll have a bunch, and thank you, Kaitlyn, for all of this information. It's really great.
This was fun. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.